Did you know Graz is Austria's second largest city? It's home to around 300,000 people and is actually a UNESCO-listed old town. It's late February and it's about 6 degrees Celsius, and today we are going to enjoy a winter adventure with chocolate overload. We are visiting a medieval city with a giant clock tower that tells time backward and an underground tunnel leading to a secret elevator. Today, we're exploring a part of Austria that somehow flies under the radar. We're talking about breathtaking views, hidden legends, quirky history, and, yes, a chocolate factory where you can eat unlimited chocolates. Oh, and a quick shout out to our friend who invited us to stay with her, and she's also tagging along today. You might not see much of her on camera, but we want to thank her for the hospitality. We're kicking things off with a trip to the top of Graz, via a tunnel, an elevator, and a whole lot of history. And you don't want to miss this video. But first, let's talk about getting to the top of Graz. Because you have two options. The first one is a grueling, calf-burning, knee-trembling 260-step staircase you are seeing. Or the second one goes through a dimly lit tunnel, with the walls still cool and slightly damp, and this tunnel is supposed to lead to a futuristic glass elevator. Far ahead, a faint echo of footsteps and hushed voices add to the mysterious ambience. And here it is, the sleek glass elevator, glowing softly in the tunnel's dim lighting. And let me tell you, this thing moves like a spaceship. If you're even slightly afraid of heights, this might be the moment to close your eyes. But, if you love a dramatic entrance, this is the way to arrive at Schlossberg. The doors slide open, revealing an open sky and the first glimpse of Schlossberg Park. This is the crown jewel of Graz, where history, legends, and some of the best views in the city can be enjoyed. When you look around, it's hard to imagine that this city has been through a lot. Wars, invasions, and empires always rising and falling. Alright, history buffs and confused tourists, gather around because this is the Uhrturm and it is the most iconic landmark of Graz. This clock tells time backward. Well, technically, it's just built in reverse, because the hour hand is the size of a minute hand, and the minute hand is ridiculously tiny. The clock originally only had an hour hand, and when they added a minute hand later, they just slapped on a tiny one, and never fixed it. Take a moment, and this is Graz in all its sunlit glory, with red rooftops, the winding Moor River, and if you squint, you can even see the alien-like Kunsthaus. All around us, the Schlossberg Gardens feels like a little slice of paradise sitting on top of a former fortress. This entire hill used to be a castle, up until Napoleon blew most of it up in 1809. But instead of rebuilding the fortress, Graz turned it into this beautiful park. Nearby there is the deepest well in Graz and it is known as the Türkenbrunnen. The depth of the well measures an insane 94 meters, as tall as a 30-story building. Legend has it that this well got its name from the Ottoman sieges in the 1500s when the fortress on Schlossberg was under attack, and the people of Graz needed a reliable water source. Before we dive deeper into Schlossberg hidden gems, let's take a second to appreciate Graz itself. Graz is Austria's second-largest city, with around 300,000 people calling it home. About 1/6 of that population are students, and thanks to its 6 universities, Graz is a major student city. This charming little city sits in southern Austria, just 200 kilometers from Vienna, which, by the way, makes it a great day trip destination if you ever get tired of the imperial grandeur of Austria's capital. If you do not believe me, click on the pop-up banner to watch our last week's video, where we bring you the best of Vienna in a 90 minutes video. Graz has been around since Roman times, but it really flourished in the Middle Ages. And it was so strategically important that Habsburg emperors actually ruled from here for a while before moving to Vienna. And thanks to that royal influence, the city is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Alright, meet the Glockenturm, Schlossberg's very own bell tower. This bad boy weighs a casual 4.5 tons and it has been ringing across Graz since 1588. Back in the day, the bell wasn't just for show, but it was a warning system. If enemies were approaching, the Glockenturm would ring out across the city. This is St. Thomas Chapel, or what's left of it. This used to be a fully functioning Gothic chapel, built back in the 14th century. But, when Napoleon came through in 1809, it didn't exactly make it out unscathed. Graz actually gets its name from the Slavic word Gradec, which means little castle. Back in the 9th century, Slavic settlers built a small wooden fort up on Schlossberg Hill, and that is probably because even back then, people knew that real estate with a view was prime property. Fast forward a couple of centuries, and the Germans arrived, saw the fort, and went, "Yep, we'll take that." And just like that, Graz became part of the growing Duchy of Styria. But here's where things get really interesting. Because, in the 16th and 17th centuries, the Ottoman Empire was expanding fast, conquering parts of Eastern Europe. And Graz was right in their path. But the city wasn't about to go down without a fight, and instead, it fortified itself like crazy, by building massive walls, strengthening Schlossberg, and even creating hidden escape tunnels. The Ottomans never managed to take Graz. Not even once. This is the Schlossberg lion. He looks majestic and powerful. I don't know exactly why the lion is here, but he's become kind of a symbol of resilience. But, as history loves to remind us, you can't win every battle. And in the early 1800s, Napoleon and his French troops stormed through Austria, and Graz finally fell. And in classic Napoleon style, he decided to blow up Schlossberg's fortress. But here's where it gets juicy, because Graz citizens loved their clock tower so much that they literally paid a ransom to Napoleon's army to spare it. We hopped on the elevator and found ourselves right next to the magnificent Church of Trinity. Its timeless architecture and serene presence really set the mood as we headed towards our next gem. Today, Graz is Austria's second-largest city, but it still has this laid-back, small-town charm. The entire Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, packed with medieval alleyways, Renaissance courtyards, and Baroque palaces. It's also Austria's biggest university city, so you've got a young, creative vibe, tons of cool events, and some of the best coffee shops in the country. And Graz isn't just stuck in the past, but it's also a city of design, innovation, and modern art. Just look at this for example, and we call it the Mauerinsel Graz. It is a modern marvel that's like a secret island oasis in the middle of the Moor River. Mauerinsel isn't just a bridge, but it's a floating island cafe and cultural hotspot all in one. Originally built for the 2003 Graz Culture Year, the Mauerinsel Graz is this innovative floating platform, made of steel and glass, with an umbrella-shaped canopy that not only looks cool but also creates a cozy spot to hang out. Locals and visitors alike use it as a meeting point, or a mini amphitheater for impromptu performances. And here's something super cool: you can actually cross the moor using the Mauerinsel. While walking and soaking in its modern design and vibrant energy, you can easily conclude that it is where modern innovation meets historical charm, in the most delightful way. Alright, we've made it across, and just look at this, because Graz by night is a whole different world. The sun may have set, but the city is alive with energy. And as we stroll along Lendkai, one of Graz's most charming streets, you can't help but feel like we're stepping into a scene from a romantic movie. Just across the river, if you look closely, you'll catch glimpses of the Church of Trinity and the hilltop views we enjoyed earlier. This is the Kunsthaus Graz, affectionately known as the Friendly Alien. And with its avant-garde design and captivating light shows, it's like a beacon of modern art amidst centuries of history. It looks like an alien ship that crash-landed right into the heart of Graz, but actually it is a museum. Inside, you'll find thought-provoking exhibitions ranging from cutting-edge installations to daring art pieces that challenge your perceptions. This is the Archduke John Bridge, named after Archduke Johann. Located near the Kunsthaus Graz, this bridge connects the historic heart of Graz with its vibrant modern side. By nightfall, it's the perfect spot to pause and take in the panoramic views of Graz, and feeling the pulse of the city as it mingles history with modern energy. It's also the right spot for an evening stroll, and if you're into lovelocks, you're in for a treat because the railings are adorned with countless locks, each one a tiny story of promises and cherished memories. And just like that, we're back on the other side of the river, right next to the Franciscan Church of Graz, one of the oldest churches in the city. If you turn around and look towards the other bank, you will see the museum and the more modern side of Graz. The Franciscan Church of Graz has been standing here since the 13th century, way before Graz even became the bustling city it is today. The Franciscan monastery is right next door, with its peaceful courtyard and hidden cloisters. And imagine monks quietly walking through these halls hundreds of years ago, completely unaware that one day we'd be standing here, talking about them on YouTube. But here's where it gets even better, because Graz at night isn't just about big landmarks. It's about the little moments. So, we ditched the main roads and slipped into one of Graz's many narrow alleys. You know, the kind where every tiny shop window is glowing like a little treasure chest. You can always tell when a city is truly special by how its small streets feel at night. And Graz has that hidden gem energy. Suddenly, the alleys widen, and we arrive at the grand Hauptplatz, the city's main square. Here, the atmosphere shifts and there are more people and a livelier buzz. And the historic Rathaus, or town hall in English, dominates the scene, its beautifully illuminated facade standing proudly as the centerpiece of Graz. By day, this square is all business, with trams rolling through, people running errands, street vendors selling everything from flowers to fresh pretzels. But by night, it's like stepping into a different era, and the grand Rathaus der Stadt Graz towers over everything. It's like the city's way of reminding you that it's been around for a while, with plenty of stories to tell. The Archduke Johann Fountain, in the center of the square, glistens under the soft glow of nearby lanterns, and this is the perfect spot to soak it all in. And if you're like me, you'll spend half your time just admiring the architecture, the mix of old and new, the grand architecture, the little shops and restaurants hugging the square. The buildings surrounding Hauptplatz are this gorgeous mix of Renaissance, Baroque, and Gothic styles. After soaking in every last bit of Graz nighttime magic, we finally called it a day. And back to our friend's place, who, by the way, deserves a huge thank you for her hospitality. Seriously, we couldn't have asked for a better way to explore this city. And guess what? Well, tomorrow is going to be even sweeter. And I mean it, literally. This is our friend's backyard, but it's practically a postcard, with rolling hills in the distance, a little layer of fog clinging to the earth, and the soft glow of dawn creeping over the hills, in the horizon. The air was crisp, a perfect 6 degrees Celsius, and for once, I didn't even mind the chill, and it is the kind of morning where you just stand there, coffee in hand, completely still, just taking it all in. But of course, we couldn't stand around all day, because today, we had an appointment somewhere very, very special. Zotter Schokolade is nestled in the rolling Styrian countryside, and here, the air is fresh, the grass is impossibly green, and in the distance, we can already spot the factory. And it is a modern, slightly quirky-looking building with large glass windows and an inviting entrance. A few families and chocolate enthusiasts like us are making their way inside, the excitement in the air almost palpable. Alright, chocolate lovers, this is it. We've made it to the legendary Zotter Schokolade. If you've never heard of it before, imagine Willy Wonka's factory, but real. And instead of Oompa Loompa, you get actual Austrian chocolate masters making some of the most creative, organic, and ethically sourced chocolates in the world. And the best part is that you don't just look at the chocolate, but you also get to eat it, and you taste your way through the entire chocolate making process. This place is basically a theme park, but for chocolate. The moment we stepped inside the lobby, the air is instantly filled with the rich aroma of cocoa. And it smells like pure happiness. Around us, there are colorful displays showcasing Zotter's wildest chocolate creations. We head to the ticket counter where we check in for the full chocolate tour experience, for a small fee. But first off, is the Zotter's story and the man behind the chocolate, and for that we take our seats in the cozy cinema, as a documentary plays on the big screen. The film introduces us to Joseph Zotter, the genius and slightly eccentric chocolatier, who built this empire from scratch. This guy isn't just making chocolate, he's reinventing it. And Zotter is known for pushing the limits and think cheese-flavored chocolate, hemp pralines, and even insect-infused bars. Now, you know a place is serious about chocolate when the first thing they give you is a spoon. This little guy is our golden ticket. And we're about to scoop, sip, and devour our way through this factory. So, if you're on a diet, look away now. Do take a moment to subscribe to our channel, if you have not done so yet. And please do leave us some comments, after watching the video. Before we get to the good stuff, there's an educational detour, the building blocks of chocolate. We've got 3 main ingredients to taste: milk, sugar, and cocoa beans. I mean, it makes sense. You can't build a house without bricks, and apparently, you can't make chocolate without them. The cocoa bean is really where all the magic starts. And it may not look like much now, but soon it's going to transform into the rich, velvety goodness we all know and love. We step onto an industrial-style walkway overlooking a series of stations. And below, workers in white uniforms are carefully handling trays of cocoa beans. First, we got to taste the raw beans. My husband popped one into his mouth and immediately makes a dramatic face, somewhere between curiosity and mild regret. And then I tried one myself. And this is intense. And it's like coffee, but angrier. It's super bitter, super earthy, and it's as if a piece of dark chocolate just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Let me tell you right now, if you ever wanted to cut sugar out of your diet, just eat one of these. And you will never crave sweets again. Alright, chocolate nerds, here's a little fun fact because chocolate isn't just mixed and called a day. It goes through something called conching, where it's continuously ground and refined to develop its smoothness and flavor. And the longer it conches, the smoother it gets. And lucky for us, we get to taste the difference. We step into a futuristic, spaceship-like room, and it's warm in here, like a chocolate sauna, and the air is thick with the scent of melted cocoa, raspberries, and caramel. We climb the stairs to the second level, where an entire wall is lined with limited edition chocolates. And some of the flavors are expected, but some are absolutely wild. This part of the factory is called Chocolate Uni Fair, because it's literally like a university of chocolate knowledge. You can read about every single type of chocolate they make, see the different packaging, and the best part is that you can taste them all. And obviously, I'm going to taste every single one. As we continue exploring, we pause near one of the massive, almost floor-to-ceiling windows. The golden afternoon light spills in, and wait a second, are we still in a chocolate factory? Because that looks like a farm. Okay, plot twist. This place isn't just about chocolate. Zotter also has its very own organic farm and zoo, and we will go there in a while. This is the robo-barista, a sort of robot butler that serves you chocolates, on demand. The whole setup looks like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, except instead of coffee or cocktails, it's serving up chocolate. If you have time, do explore around. There are many other interesting finds at Zotter. For example, one floor up, this is where you can sample all kinds of chocolate drinks, and as you step out, there is a sculpture of a lady taking a chocolate bath. And stepping outside the factory, there are also these funny sculptures. Well, I let you be your own judge for this one. For now, let us enter the farm I told you about earlier, and it is known as the Zotter Essbarer Tiergarten, or the Edible Zoo, in English. And please don't let the name freak you out, because nobody's eating the animals. The idea here is actually pretty cool, because everything at Zotter is organic and sustainable, and this farm is part of that mission. The animals here live freely, and the ingredients for some of their chocolates and food products come from this very land. We take a slow walk along the wooden pathways that wind through the fields. In the distance, we can spot some sheep grazing happily and along the way, and a couple of donkeys curiously approach the fence, giving us a lazy, uninterested stare before trotting away. Hold up, am I seeing this right? Or did I eat too much chocolate? I did not expect to see kangaroos in Austria today. Nearby, a group of llamas graze peacefully, looking utterly unbothered by their surroundings. They're definitely judging us. Just look at their faces, because they know we've eaten way too much chocolate. A friendly llama strolls up, its big, fluffy head tilting slightly as if it's inspecting us. We slowly reach out, and to our delight, it lets us pet it. Okay, I have officially moved on from chocolate, and I want to take this llama home. And just look at that face. Tell me this isn't the cutest thing you've seen today. And just when we thought we have seen it all, we came across the most unbelievable part of the garden. And it's not the chicken you see here. It is the cemetery of dead chocolate, where flavors rest in peace, in a chocolate graveyard. Check out this row of gravestones, each one marking a discontinued chocolate flavor that is no longer in production. Some are serious, some are completely ridiculous, and all of them make you wonder, who in the world came up with these ideas? We walk through, reading more names: rosemary bacon, peanuts and ketchup, tequila worm, wasabi coconut, and the list goes on. This place is like someone's dreamland mashup, and honestly, I'm loving it. Just when we thought we were done, we turn a corner and we walk into a chocolate lover's paradise. Shelves upon shelves of Zotter's best creations, with colorful packaging, creative flavors, and way too many options. We browse through the wildest flavors Zotter has to offer, ranging from classic dark and milk chocolates to the more experimental ones like whiskey-infused pralines, mango chili bars, and even hemp chocolate. Here is a bonus tip for you. Did you know that you can create your own chocolate and pick it up in store? You just walk over to a sleek touchscreen ordering station where visitors can fully customize their own Zotter chocolate creation. You get to choose everything, from the type of chocolate to the mix-ines, toppings, and even a special message on the packaging. My husband ordered one for me, and it is still at home in the fridge, because I can't bring myself to eating it. After indulging in what felt like a lifetime's worth of chocolate, it was time for something completely different. Something quieter, something more reflective. We left the Zotter chocolate factory behind and made our way toward one of the most beautiful and sacred sites in Graz, and it is Maria Trost Basilica. This is the war memorial near Maria Trost Basilica, honoring those from this region who lost their lives in the two world wars. To reach the basilica, there's a steep but scenic path that winds its way up the hill, part of a historic pilgrimage route. But we took a paved path leading directly to the basilica, with no long pilgrimage routes or countless steps. And there it is, the Maria Trost Basilica, in all its glory. And the first thing that strikes you is the sheer grandeur of it. Built in the 18th century, this Baroque-style church is a vision of peach-colored walls, towering twin spires, and intricate architectural details. The quiet atmosphere around the church, with the soft sounds of nature in the background, made it all feel so peaceful and serene. The interior is a masterpiece of Baroque artistry, with golden altars, larger-than-life religious paintings, and an ornate ceiling fresco that looks like something straight out of the Sistine Chapel. The centerpiece of it all is the high altar, dedicated to the Virgin Mary, Our Lady of Consolation, also the reason why so many pilgrims come here. Built between 1714 and 1724, the basilica became a major pilgrimage site after a late Gothic statue of the Virgin Mary was placed in its high altar. For centuries, people have visited Maria Trost to pray for solace, especially during hardships. Pilgrims often ascend the Angelus steps, a long staircase symbolizing their spiritual journey, and if we have time, I'll try to show you the staircase later on. The moment we stepped inside, we were greeted by golden light reflecting off intricate stucco work, soaring ceilings, and rich frescoes. And the basilica's Baroque design is both grand and intimate, creating an atmosphere of awe and devotion. Looking up, the vaulted ceilings and dome frescoes tell stories of faith and divine intervention. For centuries, pilgrims have journeyed to Maria Trost, many of them walking great distances to seek healing, protection, or simply to express their faith. Some carry personal burdens, hoping to find peace and answers in the presence of the Virgin Mary. And this is the famous staircase, with 216 steps, leading up to Basilica Maria Trost, symbolizing the spiritual journey of pilgrims. The sky is painted in soft shades of orange, pink, and deep purple, as the sun slowly dips behind the distant hills. And we better get going if we don't want to be in the city center when it is already dark. We are back in Graz city center, and as the city lights slowly flickered to life, we found ourselves in the former Carmelite monastery square. It is a peaceful little spot tucked between history and modern life. And nearby stood Palais Gala, an elegant structure whispering stories of a grander past. The Carmelite monastery square emerged in the 16th century as part of Graz's urban expansion. The square's name derives from the Carmelite monastery that once stood there, now housing the Styrian State Archives. But what truly caught our eye was the Trinity Plague Column, which is a striking monument dedicated to those lost during the plague of the 17th century, a silent yet powerful reminder of resilience in times of darkness. At the top of the column, you'll see a golden statue of the Holy Trinity, with God the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, represented as a dove. As we left the square and the Trinity Plague Column, we found ourselves wandering through a maze of narrow, cobblestone alleys. These hidden pathways, tucked between elegant Baroque and Renaissance buildings, exuded an almost timeless charm. The streets of Graz at dusk carry a special kind of magic, and it is the blend of old-world elegance and youthful energy. Warm lights spilled from the cozy restaurants and boutique shops, inviting passers-by to step in and experience Graz's unique blend of tradition and modernity. Some alleys were so quiet and tucked away that it felt like we had stumbled into a secret and a forgotten part of the city's past. But just around the corner, the lively hum of conversations and the occasional melody of street musicians reminded us that Graz is very much alive after dark. Soon, we found ourselves on Sporgasse, one of Graz's most beautiful and historic streets. And dating back to Roman times, Sporgasse was once an important trade route leading to the east. Today, it's a charming mix of history, shopping, and culture, especially enchanting at night. A city as old as Graz naturally has its fair share of myths and legends. Some say that in Graz's oldest quarter, there is a mysterious street that only appears on certain nights. And those who enter it are said to walk into another time period, to a Graz of the past. Graz covers about 128 square kilometers, and Graz Airport is located just 10 kilometers from the city center. There are direct flights from major cities like Vienna, Frankfurt, Munich, and Zurich. Along Sporgasse, there are also hidden courtyards that lead to quaint bookstores and art galleries. As we strolled, we noticed that many buildings had intricate facades and ornate doorways, a reminder of Graz's wealthy merchant past. We slowly made our way towards a more central area, where the Graz National Theatre and the Cathedral of St. Giles are located. Tucked away in the historic heart of Graz, the Graz Cathedral may not seem as grand as Vienna St. Stephan's Cathedral at first glance. But don't let its understated facade fool you, because inside lies a treasure trove of history, art, and spiritual significance. This cathedral has stood for centuries as the spiritual heart of Graz, bearing witness to the city's transformations from the medieval period to the modern era. The Graz Cathedral was originally built as a court church for Emperor Frederick III in the 15th century. And before that, the site was home to a small Gothic church dedicated to St. Giles, the patron saint of lepers and beggars. In 1786, it was elevated to the status of a cathedral, and it has been the spiritual and religious center of Graz ever since. Stepping inside, the contrast is breathtaking, and the dark Gothic structure gives way to a richly decorated Baroque interior, filled with ornate stucco work, frescoes, and gold accents. The high altar consists of a stunning Baroque masterpiece, featuring golden angels and an image of Saint Giles. And there is an inscription above it, Salutatium Vitae Nostrae, meaning consolation of our life. The main dome fresco shows the Virgin Mary as the Queen of Heaven, surrounded by angels and saints. For centuries, the Graz Cathedral has been a place of prayer, reflection, and spiritual renewal. And pilgrims and visitors come here to seek solace and peace, especially during difficult times, and also to admire the historical and artistic legacy of Styria. Right next to the Graz Cathedral, you'll find one of the most striking and historically significant buildings in the city, the Mausoleum of Emperor Ferdinand II. This mausoleum is one of the most important imperial tombs in Austria, serving as the final resting place of Emperor Ferdinand II. We glanced at our watch, and we still have time, because our dinner appointment with our friend is an hour away. So let us wander a little longer, savoring the last moments of the day in this beautiful city. The streets of Graz were coming alive in their own way, as the evening ambience started to take hold, restaurants with outdoor seating, cafes filling up, and the occasional chatter of people enjoying the soft evening air. As one of the most iconic and charming streets in Graz, Herrengasse is the pulse of the city, combining history, culture, shopping, and local life in one picturesque location. If you're walking through the city, it's impossible to miss Herrengasse, as it runs through the very heart of the Old Town, connecting some of Graz's most important landmarks. Famous landmarks along Herrengasse are the Landhaus, which is the heart of the provincial government. Then there is the Palais Atoms, which is a palatial building that is now home to the Styrian provincial art collections. And there is also the Church of the Sacred Blood, where we are now. The church was built in the Gothic style in the 14th century, and its full name, Church of the Sacred Blood, refers to the holy relic it once housed, which is a venerated relic of the Holy Blood of Christ. This relic was believed to be a drop of blood from Christ's side, a gift to the church that made it an important pilgrimage site for centuries. The exterior of the church is striking, with a tall, slender tower rising above the city, visible from many points around Graz. And inside, the church is beautifully adorned, showcasing an impressive mix of Gothic and Baroque influences. From the moment we stepped into the city to our final walk before dinner, Graz proved to be a place where history and modern life intertwine effortlessly. The Schlossberg and the Uhrturm offered the most breathtaking sunset views over the city. On the other hand, Murinsel and Kunsthaus Graz were bold contrast of futuristic design against the old-world charm. The Zotter chocolate factory, which we visited, was a true paradise for chocolate lovers, with an immersive tasting experience like no other. The Maria Trost Basilica is a serene hilltop sanctuary, perfect for reflection and stunning views. And the Old Town comes alive in the evening, glowing with history, charm, and vibrant energy. As we wrapped up our adventure and headed for dinner, one thing was certain. Graz had left an imprint on our hearts, and we knew this wouldn't be our last visit. That's it for this journey, and if you enjoyed exploring Graz with us, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more travel adventures. And if you're craving more European adventures, check out our video from Vienna. Just click on the end card that will appear on your screen to watch it. We dive into the historic sites, hidden gems, and unique experiences in the Austrian capital. So, don't miss it.